Inside the newsroom of the Arizona Republican, AZ Central, I'm Richard Rellis here with columnist Bob Robb. And I guess conventional wisdom would say that as long as race becomes the center of the national conversation in terms of Donald Trump, that it might help the Democrats, but maybe not necessarily.
I think Democrats are repeating the mistake that Hillary Clinton did, which was to attack not just Donald Trump, but also his supporters, declaring them, at least half of them, a bunch of irredeemable deplorables. Well, you're starting to see the same thing. So it's not only criticizing Trump for racially charged statements that he makes and actions that he takes, but to say that it's racism that got him elected, and it's racism, if he gets reelected, that will deserve the credit. And I don't think that's an accurate representation of the political landscape. And I do believe that there is a cultural issue, sort of related, where a large portion of people are rejecting liberal identity and grievance politics and suffocating political correctness. So I think it can generate a backlash, and probably more importantly, it fails to take advantage of what I think is a decisive majority that are ready to be rid of Donald Trump as president.
Right, so is it both overt statements and sort of, you talk about things that people can read in or just sense as they're criticizing not just the president, but those who are in the rallies or supporting or chanting?
Well, I do believe that there's a feeling of the condescension of, in liberal circles, for center-right people who don't buy into the identity and grievance politics and aren't willing to accept that they're all implicitly bigots. But I don't think in the case of Donald Trump that would be sufficient to cause of that element people who are tired of him as president and do think that his exploitation of race is deplorable and reprehensible, to say, well, to hell with it, you're accusing me of it, so I'm going to go against that. But it is the overtness. It's the fact that increasingly it is flat stated that racism explains all of Donald Trump's success. And there are so many different variables and coalitions that have to be put together in order to win any election, that any simplistic explanation is bound to be wrong. But it's increasingly what the left is saying explains Donald Trump, which reduces their ability to appeal to people who have had enough of Trump, but may be fearful of the alternative or like some of the policy things that he has done. And it just simply puts this election in the wrong light. You have the famous Clinton campaign, it's the economy stupid. Well, it's not the racism stupid. Yeah. It's a more complex environment than that.
Well, and as always, the column gets through a lot of complex topics and these variables we're talking about, but it's worth reading because you make the case that maybe the Democrats are going to send voters fleeing back into the arms of Donald Trump.
I think they have that risk.